Your nightmare isn't your enemy. It's your most honest employee, clocking in when you won't. It shows up after hours with the report you refuse to read. You slam the laptop. It keeps talking. Have you noticed how the scenes you avoid by day audition for roles at 3 a.m.? The unfinished conversation, the swallowed insult, the jealousy you dressed up as virtue. They all line up for casting under fluorescent moonlight. You call it terror. It calls itself feedback. Here's the contrarian truth. The less you chase sleep, the more you lead your dreams. Chasing tightens the knot. Leading loosens it. When you stop bargaining with the night, please just let me rest, your posture changes. You become the one doing the interviewing. The dream stops shouting and starts answering. Jung 101. What you refuse to face in daylight tries the back door of your mind. If it's too intense, it doesn't knock. It kicks the frame and storms in as a nightmare. That isn't cruelty, that's urgency. The psyche hates unpaid invoices. It's not things that disturb us, but our judgments, Epictetus whispers from 2 millennia away. Your nightmare is judgment made loud. Your private commentary with the volume maxed. It isn't random. It's scripted by something in you that still wants you alive, awake, and honest. So ask the question you've postponed. What exactly is this scene trying to make me admit? That I am angry, that I want more, that I am tired of pretending I don't care? The monster is often a mask, the chase a misdirection, the fall a rehearsal for surrender. The mind is theatrical when you ignore the notes. Hold that thought. Why would a brain built for survival choose horror as a teacher? Because terror outruns denial. Because a jolt can break the trance that politeness and busyness maintain. Because some truths need bold font. Miss this, and you'll keep paying for problems you didn't choose. Keep it, and the night becomes a training ground. You will feel the jaw unclench, the shoulders drop, the scenes slow like a film entering frame-by-frame review. You are no longer the prey. You are the witness. You know the archetypes, the chase, the exam, the wave, the teeth. But do you know their contracts? Each promises the same thing. Face me, and I will shrink. Each threatens the same thing. Run, and I'll return with friends. We'll crack those contracts soon. For now, let this land. Your nightmare is not a verdict. It's a negotiation, and tonight, you speak first. You learn to stop expecting fairness in rooms where the rules kept changing. A slammed door here, a moving goalpost there, adults who promised and forgot. Your body kept the score in alarms you couldn't switch off. Daylight demanded composure. Night gave the alarms a stage. That's why the dream feels rigged. You run and the corridor lengthens. You speak and your jaw melts. You study and the test rewrites itself. This is not your weakness. It's your history playing back in symbols. Have you noticed how the moments you downplay by day swell into epics after midnight? A raised eyebrow becomes a tribunal. A late email becomes exile. Your mind is not cruel. It's persistent. It keeps returning to the point of fracture because that's where the repair lives. Epictetus warned, it's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things. Nightmares are judgments turned into theater seats and floodlights. Your brain builds a set, dresses your dread in costumes and says, look, without the polite excuses. Here's the contrarian truth. Your quiet isn't weakness, it's leverage. In quiet, patterns get loud. In quiet, you finally hear the line that keeps repeating underneath the noise. Don't speak, don't try, don't need, don't be seen. Marcus Aurelius answers from the margins. The impediment to action advances action. The dream impediment advances integration. The wall is the training partner. The chase is the drill. The fall is the rehearsal for ground. But here's the snag you keep tripping on. Terror magnifies whatever you suppress. Push jealousy down. It returns as a faceless rival. Swallow rage, it becomes a storm that tears the roof. Hide your need, and you'll dream of empty rooms with your name on the door. Avoidance is an amplifier. Denial is an architect. So we pivot. Name the thing and half its power dissolves. You don't need a dissertation, you need a word. Jealousy, rage, shame, need, grief. Say it softly, like telling the truth to a child. Watch how the room changes when honesty enters it. Your nervous system has been collecting unfinished movements for years. Boundaries never spoken, sorries never received, truths never stood on. At night, those unfinished movements queue up like airplanes circling a fogged runway. They are not asking for blame. They're asking for landing clearance. Think of the nightmare as a message smuggler from a country you don't visit in daylight. It arrives with a stamp and a deadline. You can burn the envelope and it will return bigger, or you can open it and copy the instructions into tomorrow's calendar. What if the thing you avoid is the doorway to strength? Hold that thought. Notice how your body reacts even to the suggestion. A breath catches, a shoulder rises. That's the border crossing. You are close. Heraclitus said, "Nature loves to hide. Nightmares love to reveal. If you ask the right question, not, 'Why is this happening to me?' but, 'What is this scene trying to complete? What movement wants to finish? What sentence wants to be spoken? What door wants a hand on the handle?' You don't fix the dream by force. You edit the script by presence. The moment you turn toward the sound behind you, the hallway shortens. The second you say, 'Stop!' the faceless figure gains features. Presence is the solvent. Naming is the key you already own. So take this with you to the pillow. There is nothing in the theater tonight that isn't, in some way, yours. Not your fault, your material. And material can be shaped. Whatever your day won't let you face will try to enter through images. If it's too intense, it comes as a nightmare because that's how the body gets your full attention. We'll test this soon. Keep a pen by the bed. When you wake, catch a single frame before it fades. One verb, one symbol, one task. Write it like a command you'll obey at noon. You are teaching your mind that messages are received and acted on. The alarms will stop screaming when they trust you can hear a whisper. This is the beginning of control, not over the dream, but over the day that seeds it. You think the nightmare is random, but it's structured like a contract. 3 clauses: trigger, symbol, task. Sign, seal, deliver. Trigger. First, some small humiliation or threat you brushed past in daylight. The email you couldn't answer, the look that told you your place, the calendar you pretend isn't swallowing you. It doesn't vanish, it condenses. By night it becomes weather, low pressure building at the edge of your skull. You lie down under clear skies and wake in a storm. Then the symbol. Your mind is a brilliant smuggler. It won't send the truth through the front gate, so it hides it in costumes. A wolf in the hallway, an exam you never studied for. Teeth coming loose like buttons, an ocean that keeps rising. The symbol is not a lie. It's a mask that lets the truth appear without burning your eyes. Ask it gently. What job are you doing for me? Finally, the task. The unfinished movement that wants to complete itself. Every nightmare has one. Say no. Tell the truth. Stay present. Ask for help. Walk toward, not away. The task is the red thread you can grab even while everything else blurs. If you miss it, the plot resets next week and pretends to be new. Notice how the chase always refuses to end? You sprint, doors multiply, your legs turn to wet sand. That's the contract enforcing itself. As long as you run, the symbol gets paid and the task goes unpaid. The more you struggle inside the dream's physics, the more the physics thicken. Approach loosens it, avoidance sets the glue. Plato tried to warn you with a cave, shadows performing for prisoners who call the flicker reality. At 3 in the morning, the projector is inside you. The wall is your fear. The puppeteers are the parts you refuse. Turn slightly. Even a quarter turn begins to show you the fire behind the shapes. The anatomy matters because it gives you handles. You can't negotiate with fog, but you can name a trigger, interrogate a symbol, and execute a task. This is not about decoding like a crossword. It's about completing an interrupted action. Your body knows which one: your jaw, your hands, your lungs. Listen there first. Try this. Recall the last nightmare frame you can hold without flinching. Find the red thread in it. One small act your waking self can make real. A boundary to draw, a call to place, a truth to speak once and cleanly. When you do it by day, you edit the night contract retroactively. The next scene arrives with fewer locks. You'll be tempted to make the symbol literal. Dreaming of the X means you want the X. The wolf means you are the wolf. Slow down. Symbols are efficient, not obvious. They show you where energy is stuck. Treat them like signposts, not gods. Here's the quiet miracle. The nightmare doesn't hate you. It's a stern tutor assigned to the part of you that keeps postponing. When you take the task, the tutor shrinks. When you refuse, the tutor shouts. Either way, it's working for you. Learn its grammar and you stop being chased by your own curriculum. You've been told to run, but the way out is toward. What you run from rules you. What you face becomes workable. Approach shrinks monsters. Avoidance feeds them. Have you noticed how the chase glitches the moment you turn? The corridor stops stretching. Footsteps lose echo. Fear is an economy. Attention is its currency. When you flee, you bankroll the thing you fear. When you pivot, even a fraction, the funding dries up. In dreams, power sits in posture and breath. You don't need a sword. You need one deliberate step and the smallest bow to reality. Here you are. Here it is. Your shoulders lower a notch. Your gaze drops from the thing's eyes to its feet, the least threatening detail. You name what you see. Cracked hooves, wet pavement, a threadbare suit. Naming is a handle. Without a name, the object is all blade and no grip. You tell yourself softly, I can allow one step toward, not 3. 1. Micro approach beats macro escape. Let the breath lead the body. Slow in, slower out. The scene often loosens right there, as if the dream had been waiting for you to stop negotiating with the air. Seneca warned that we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Nightmares are the surplus, the interest on unpaid fear. Facing is debt reform. You're not erasing terror, you're converting it into a message you can afford. Try it in the stock nightmare, the pursuer. You slow half a pace, knees unlocked, chin level. You look at the ground between you rather than the face above it. Your line is brief and ordinary. What do you want me to know? The question cracks the mask. Pursuers stumble when they are forced to speak. This isn't heroics. You're not charging. You're consenting to contact with truth. A half turn is enough. The dream respects proportional courage. Meet it at the smallest edge where choice still exists. If the wave is towering, attend to the shoreline. If the exam paper blurs, touch the desk. If the beast's breath is hot, count the cadence instead of the teeth. Handles are everywhere when you stop sprinting past them. The strange thing about monsters, they wobble under observation. They draw power from your back, from the sight of you leaving yourself. When you turn, you're not just facing them, you're facing you, the part exiled at noon, asking to be let back into the house. And when the scene finally softens, don't gloat. Listen, let it speak in images and fragments. Approach is not conquest, it is translation. To approach safely, you'll need better names and stronger handles. We're about to make them. We start with something deceptively simple. You will give the dark a name. Not to worship it, not to banish it, to domesticate it. You don't purge a shadow. You teach it where to stand. Tonight, you sit for 2 quiet minutes. No music, no heroics. Ask a rude question. What is the word I refuse? Don't pretty it up. If the truth is jealousy, write jealousy. If it's rage, write rage. If it's greed, need, lust, resentment, write it unfiltered, like a label on a jar. You are not confessing, you are inventorying. Have you noticed how the mind gets kinder the moment you stop lying to it? The nightmare chases because you run. The instant you turn and say the word, the floor steadies. Language is leverage. A named thing becomes a handled thing. Now, add the sentence you never say aloud. I want iki. I fear ogor. I resent yak. Let the sentence be ugly and unstrategic. You are not writing a public statement. You are letting the steam out of the valve so the dream doesn't have to blow the pipes at 3 a.m. Then choose 1 rehearsal for daylight. 1, not 5. A boundary, a truth, a pause. If the word was jealousy, the rehearsal might be, I will praise what I admire in them out loud and begin building my version in private. If the word was resentment, the rehearsal might be, I will decline 1 extra task that I usually accept out of fear. If the word was rage, the rehearsal might be, I will say calmly and early, that doesn't work for me, before the heat spikes. Notice the order: name, sentence, rehearsal. Dream tries to force you into the task by terror. You preempt it with a tiny, chosen act. You take the director's chair back. Your quiet isn't weakness, it's leverage. The page is the safest room in the house. Here you can say the unsayable without breaking anything. 2 minutes, pen down, eyes soft. If your hand trembles, good. That's the shadow realizing it's being invited to speak without disguise. You may feel the reflex to bargain. I'll name it if it promises to leave. That's not the contract. The contract is respect. You grant the feeling existence. In return, it stops hijacking the lighting booth and blaring horror across the stage. What if the word won't come? Borrow one. Use the closest cousin. Write, something in me wants to win by not trying. Write, something in me wants to be adored without exposure. Write, something in me wants power without price. The precision will sharpen over a week. Start blunt. Refinement is a luxury of the honest. If shame arrives, greet it like an old co-worker. You kept me compliant. Thank you. You can sit. I'm meeting with responsibility now. Humor helps. So does posture. Sit up. Your body is a microphone to your nervous system. It listens to how you hold yourself more than what you scribble. This is not therapy speak. This is tactics. The nightmare's job is to compress the unsaid into an image so vivid you can't ignore it. Your job is to transcode the image back into language and then into action. Word, sentence, rehearsal, night arrow page, arrow day. Example simple and clean. I resent carrying everyone's weight. The sentence, I fear being unloved if I stop. The rehearsal. Tomorrow, I will decline 1 extra task and let silence do the heavy lifting. That silence will feel like falling. Let it. Falling is simply flying you haven't named yet. Miss this and you keep paying for problems you didn't choose. Do this, and the bill changes names, from terror to tuition. You're buying capacity. When you close the notebook, whisper the line that seals the agreement. I choose honest courage. I practice small truths with integrity. Say it once, like a key turning, then go to sleep. If the monster visits, it will find a clipboard and your signature. It tends to behave better when it sees you've taken the job. Shadow naming isn't dramatic, it's domestic. Every night, you set the table for what you'd rather not see. And slowly, the guest stops banging on the door and starts knocking like a civilized thing. That's all you need, Just enough civility to walk into your dreams and walk back out carrying the lesson instead of the fear. Freeze the frame. Choose the worst moment from last night and hold it still, like you've pressed pause on a storm. The hallway stretches, the ocean lifts, the exam paper glares back blank. Don't argue with the scene. Don't run. Just look. Now breathe as if your breath is a dimmer switch and fear is a room you can turn down. In through the nose. Slow out through the mouth. Shoulders unclench. Jaw softens. Let your eyes find one ordinary detail inside the nightmare, the scuffed floor, the chipped paint, the edge of the desk. You are here. Say the name of the thing you've been avoiding. One word is enough. Jealousy, rage, need, shame, hunger, power, no. Feel the temperature of that word. Let it stand in front of you like a figure waiting to be addressed. Nightmare rehearsal begins with a reversal. You turn toward the threat by one deliberate degree. Not a heroic charge, a pivot. Imagine the ground receiving your weight. Imagine your spine remembering its length. Speak a single line of authority, short, true, and yours. Stop. I see you. Return what you took. You do not decide. I choose honest courage. Let the line land. Watch what changes. Perhaps the footsteps falter. Perhaps the wave pauses and becomes a surface. Perhaps the teeth stop falling and become seeds you can gather. Now, insert a symbol of support. Keep it specific and a little magical. A key in your pocket that warms when you touch it. A lantern that throws a circle of clear light. A mentor's hand on the doorframe. A rope that reaches from your ribs to steady ground. This is not superstition. This is training. Symbols give your nervous system a handle. Offer the monster a job description. Guard the threshold. Don't ambush it. Warn me at twilight, not at 3 a.m. Carry this message to my waking self. You are not begging. You are negotiating with a force that respects clarity more than panic. Keep the rehearsal unrealistically effective. You are practicing the nervous system's choreography, not filming a documentary. When the scene responds, when the hallway shortens, when the ocean lowers, when the blank page shows its first word, anchor it. Touch wrist to wrist. Press your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Mark the body with the memory of power. Run 3 quick variations. Chase dream. You stop, pivot, and step toward the footsteps. Show your face. The pursuer becomes something named deadline, father's voice, unpaid promise. You lift the key. Doors appear. Drowning dream. You surrender the thrash. Knees unlock, arms float wide. Water holds me. The wave turns from judge to carrier. The rope tightens from your center to shore. Exam dream. You put the pen down. This is not a test. This is a message. The questions change into instructions. Speak, cancel, apply, leave. You copy one instruction into your palm. Close the drill with a bow at the threshold. Yes, bow. Respect is not submission. It's alignment. Whisper, return this scene to me tonight only if I ignore its message by day. You set conditions. You write the contract. Before sleep for 1 week, rehearse this exactly. Freeze the frame, pivot toward, speak the line, reveal the symbol, assign the job, anchor the shift. 90 seconds is enough. Your brain loves repetition more than heroics. Upon waking, translate the dream task into a micro-act. If you were chased, answer one avoided email with a boundary. If you drowned, make the call and put a time limit on it. If your teeth fell out, book the checkup and tell one truth you keep swallowing. If at any point the scene floods, too bright, too loud, open a door you imagine behind your right shoulder and step through. Ritual exit. You can always return. Power is choice. Have you noticed how the terror thins when you stop fleeing? The mind learns your new choreography, the body remembers its vote, and the night, once a courtroom, becomes a training hall where the monster guards the very doorway you need. Call this the opposite action breath. The moment your legs beg to sprint, slow everything down. Draw a long, steady inhale to a quiet 4. Let a softer 6 count carry the air out. Feel your shoulders drop half an inch. Unclench your jaw. Now, one small pivot. Toes point a single step toward the thing you fear. Not a charge, not a duel, just 1 degree of approach. You don't calm down to face fear. You face fear to calm down. Keep the breath like a metronome. 4 in, 6 out. If the scene lunges, you don't. You return to the count and let your body broadcast a new rule. I choose contact over flight. Anxiety is a sprinter. You are a tide. When the noise in your head spikes, ask the 3-layer question. First layer, what is this about? Take the first, unromantic answer. Second layer, what else is this about? Let the secondary truth surface. Status, jealousy, shame, grief. Third layer, what am I avoiding? That's the task you owe tomorrow. Whisper the answers. Hearing your own voice in the dream is a breaker switch. It turns theater back into a room you can walk through. If the scenery distorts, keep breathing and keep asking. If everything freezes, imagine a steady hand on your back. It's yours, from the version of you that already knows how to stand here. End the scene with a single line of authority, something simple and unspectacular. I see you, or not tonight. Then let the breath finish one more cycle, 4 in, 6 out, and allow the dream to choose the next frame. Whatever appears next, meet it at the speed of your breathing. By daylight, write down the 3 answers you spoke and choose one micro-act that honors them. A boundary, an honest sentence, a pause before fixing what isn't yours. Night teaches, day implements. Repeat this enough and the monster becomes a messenger who knows your name and your pace. Nightmares are only half the story. The other half is noon, where you either smuggle the lesson into life or let it evaporate with the coffee. We're done outsourcing courage to the dark. We bring it home. Tactic, boundary, draft. Take the task your dream keeps repeating. Say no, tell the truth, ask for help, stay where you usually disappear, and translate it into a 60-second act you can do today. Not a speech, not a reinvention, a single brick. Write one sentence you're willing to say out loud, exactly as you'd say it. I can't take that on. I need the agreement in writing. I'm not available for jokes at my expense. Short sentences are hard to dodge. Place the sentence in a scene you actually live in. The hallway with your boss, the kitchen with your brother, the chat window at 3:15 p.m. Give it a time and a doorway. Courage hates vagueness. It thrives on choreography. Have you noticed how fear argues philosophy but shuts up when you schedule it? Put the sentence on your calendar like a dentist appointment. You don't have to feel ready. You have to show up. Examples to steal. Chase dream. Stop running by day. Send the email you've avoided and state the boundary in one line. Hit send before your mind writes its 4th draft of disaster. Drowning dream. Tread water by day. Ask for help with a clear request and a time cap. Can you review this for 12 minutes? Vagueness is a riptide. Specificity is a float. Teeth-falling dream. Restore bite by day. Book the checkup and say the unsaid fear to someone safe. Ownership is a sedative for shame. If your hands shake, good. That means you found the correct weight. Take one breath, then one line. Let the line carry you through the door. Tactic, micro-bravery. One uncomfortable step, repeated daily, beats a once-a-year explosion. Today, face 1 inch. Tomorrow, face 1 inch plus 1%. Courage is a compound interest account. Tiny deposits, no skipped days. Ask yourself, what is the smallest honest action that would embarrass my fear? Do that. If you overreach and wobble, scale back, not down. Keep the direction, lighten the load. Contrarian claim, you don't need confidence to act. Action manufactures confidence the way walking manufactures heat. Motion first, meaning later. Stack the 2 tactics. Draft the boundary sentence. Put it on the calendar. Execute the micro-bravery version today. Record the aftertaste. Relief, backlash, silence, respect. Data is the compass. Feeling is the weather. Aristotle didn't say, think brave thoughts and become brave. He said we become brave by doing brave acts. Philosophers write it. Your body notarizes it. Have you noticed how the nightmares set pieces, corridors, mouths, tides, mirror your day's evasions? When you pivot by day, the dream gets the memo. Monsters shrink when you stop outsourcing your number. There's a quiet reward. No one advertises. The person who hears you first is you. Every clear boundary returns a slice of self-trust you loaned out under pressure. That trust is sleep's favorite medicine. Bridge to tomorrow. Keep it embarrassingly small. Keep it scheduled. Keep it honest. If the scene backfires, you didn't fail. You gathered coordinates. Adjust the sentence. Adjust the time. Try again with 1% more spine. Ritual for tonight. Place your boundary sentence beside the bed. Touch it like a passport. Tell your nervous system, we're bringing the key back with us. Then sleep. Let the dark run dress rehearsal while the day writes the script. You're doing the work, and that's dangerous in the best way, but even good work can cast a shadow. Nightmares have a sense of humor. The moment you start facing them, they change costumes. Your job is to stay with the truth beneath the mask. First shadow, symbol literalism. You dream of an ex and wake convinced you want them back. Maybe. But more often the dream isn't about the person. It's about the unfinished conversation inside you. Need, power, validation, apology, closure. The psyche borrows familiar faces to smuggle urgent messages past your guards. Ask, what quality or dynamic did this person carry in my life? Control, worship, chaos, rescue. Then look for that quality in today's choices. The dream is pointing to a pattern, not a person. Second shadow, spiritual bypass. You start quoting wisdom like a smoke bomb. Everything happens for a reason, you say, instead of calling your mother back. It's all energy, you murmur, instead of setting a boundary with your manager. Philosophy is a torch, not a curtain. Use it to see more clearly, not to hide. If a sentence makes you feel temporarily pure while your life remains unchanged, it's not wisdom, it's anesthesia. Third shadow, trauma flood. You hear face the monster and sprint into the labyrinth with no string. Too much, too fast, too alone. Courage without titration becomes reenactment. The nervous system learns through dosage. Think dropper, not fire hose. When the body says enough, believe it. The goal is integration, not martyrdom. Here's how to stay safe and surgical. Ritual exit. This is your emergency hatch when a dream, or the memory it uncovers, starts to drown your attention. Name the door. Whisper, I'm stepping out now. In imagination, locate a simple doorway, a frame of light, a gate, a curtain. Cross the threshold. Picture your foot stepping through, feel the temperature change. Notice the ground under you, floor, rug, earth. Anchor the return. Touch something near your bed or on your desk, the object you chose as your anchor. Say, I can return when I'm ready. Regulate the breath. Inhale 4 counts, exhale 6. Let the long exhale signal safety to your body. Close the scene cleanly. Imagine the door closing softly. No slamming, no banishment. You're not escaping, you're rescheduling. Remember, dosage is a discipline. Courage is a dial, not a switch. If your work is real, it will sometimes feel slow. That's not failure. That's respect for the creature that carries you. A final check before you proceed. Am I chasing purity? Or am I practicing truth? Am I worshipping the symbol or translating it? Am I storming the castle or walking in with a key? Choose the key. Choose the pace that lets the lesson stick. You don't prove strength by bleeding. You prove strength by staying available for tomorrow's work. When you refuse literalism, bypass, and flooding, the nightmare has nothing cheap left to offer you. It either tells you the truth or it gets quiet. You don't need a fortress to sleep. You need a door you can open and close on purpose. Before you lie down, choose a small object that means I return. A ring, a key, a coin warmed between your palms. This is your anchor object. Tell it what it's for. I go in, I learn, I come back. Place it where your hand can find it in the dark. You have now given your nervous system a handle. When the lights are off, breathe like you're untying a knot. Slow in, slower out. Picture the night as a lake, not a cliff. You don't jump, you lower yourself in. Quiet isn't weakness, it's leverage. Your calm teaches the dream how to speak. On the far shore of morning, don't rush the news, the scrolling, the inherited panic. Sit up, touch the anchor. Feel how you returned. Let your first words belong to you. This is your dawn declaration. I choose honest courage. I practice small truths with integrity. Say it once as a statement and once as a promise. Say it like you're signing a contract with yourself. The day will test this line. That's the point. Courage, then truth, then integrity. Action in a sentence. Now harvest the night. 3 notes, no drama. Trigger, symbol, task. What poked the alarm? What mask did your mind cast? Teeth, waves, corridor, exam. What was the unfinished movement? Say no, stay present, ask help, tell truth, walk toward. Write it and stop before it becomes a spiral. Clarity doesn't need paragraphs. Translate the task into a single daylight step you can do in under a minute. Boundary draft. 1 line you will say. Micro bravery. 1 place you will stand. If you dreamed of drowning, you will ask for help at 2 p.m. and set a 5-minute cap. If you dreamed of pursuit, you will turn toward 1 request you've been running from and answer it simply. If your teeth fell out, you will book the checkup and name the fear that rots what you won't speak. Have you noticed how the body relaxes when a decision is scheduled? Put the act on your calendar. Give it a time, not a maybe. The brain respects appointments more than hopes. If you feel the old tidal pull, too much, too fast, use ritual exit. Close your eyes for 10 seconds, imagine a door with your name on it, and step through. You are back. The work continues tomorrow. Integration doesn't require heroic doses, it prefers faithful ones. Beware the traps that pretend to be wisdom. Symbol. Literalism will try to sell you superstition. An X in a dream means an X in your life. Maybe. More often it means unfinished boundary. Spiritual bypass will try to drape a quote over a hard conversation. Beautiful words are not receipts. Trauma flood will say, sprint or fail. You are not late. You are building a bridge 1 plank at a time. What if the thing you avoid is the doorway to leadership? What if your dreams are already rehearsing the voice you need to use by day? Hold that thought. Practice it softly in the shower, at the sink, walking to the train. Respect grows where repetition goes. At night, return to the ritual like a craftsman to the bench. Touch the anchor. Name what you're willing to face. Rehearse one scene with unreasonable success. You turn, you breathe, you speak the line that unlocks the room. The point isn't realism. The point is direction. The nervous system learns routes before distances. And when morning finds you again, sign your name with the same 2 lines. I choose honest courage. I practice small truths with integrity. Integration is not a finish, it's a rhythm. The lake and the shore take turns holding you. The monsters do not vanish. They change jobs. They become ushers, pointing to the row with your name on it. Take your seat. The lesson starts when you do. Here's how this ends. You stop running. You've been chased across stairwells and alleys by a faceless thing that knows your name. One night you turn. You plant your feet and say, softly but completely, stop. The air thins. The figure shrinks, like it's been borrowing your breath for size. Daylight translation. You resign from the unpaid role of fixer. You let other adults carry their own weight. Panic loosens. Respect, oddly, rises. You weren't weak. You were welded. You melt the weld. Another night, you drown. Waves pile like debts. You thrash and the water answers with more water. Then you remember the drill. Surrender first, float second. You go still, and the ocean, your ocean, finally holds you. Daylight translation. You ask for help without a hostage note. One clear request, one clear boundary. Your work stabilizes not because the sea got kinder, but because you stopped fighting the tide and started steering the boat. Contrarian claim. Fear dreams are rehearsals, not verdicts. They are stage managers, tapping the headset, calling your cue. When you meet the cue by day, even in miniature, the dream no longer needs to scream by night. You are not broken. You are brilliant enough to stage interventions and hide them inside cinema. The monster isn't prophecy. It's a prop department with a conscience. Say this once, like a password you intend to keep. I choose honest courage. I practice small truths with integrity. Miss this work and you keep repeating a syllabus you never chose, paying tuition in adrenaline and sleep. Take it seriously, and you graduate one scene at a time, less chased, more chosen. Hold that thought. Because the fool is about to walk on stage, smiling like trouble and carrying your spare key. Next, the dark psychology of immature masculinity. We'll wear the mask on purpose, step into the scariest room of your dream, and disarm it from the inside. Skip it, and the monster keeps your key. Show up, and you'll finally pick the lock yourself.